Hello, you wonderful people. So anyone that knows me knows I don't do desserts. Other than Cadbury cream egg donuts, give me a starter and a main any time of the week is perhaps why I spend most of my time making savoury recipes. But you know what they say, always practice your worst. So here's my fail attempt at an apple pie. Follow along, pay close attention to the ingredients and enjoy the ride. Before I take you through the recipe, please, as a YouTuber building a community, your engagement means the world to me. Please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. What recipe or what dessert would you like to see me make next? As with anything else, we start with preparation. Start by making and blind baking our base. As said, I don't do dessert, so I wasn't going to make my own short crust pastry. Why? When ready-made is available and saves half the time. Find a suitable pie tin and line your pan with a bit of flour. Admittedly, this is difficult to see in the video. Carefully line your pastry along the pie tin and decide whether to trim now or later. I always go later. Perhaps I'm wrong. If so, let me know below in the comments. Give the base a few pricks with a fork. This allows steam to escape from the pastry during baking, preventing it from puffing up and creating bubbles, ensuring that nice, flat and even crust that will hold your filling any day of the week. We then cover this with baking paper before filling with baking beads, but if you have no baking beads, feel free to use dry rice. 200 degrees centigrade for around 30 minutes or until the base is firm, crisp and golden on the edges. Whilst all this is going on, we can peel core 5 large baking apples. We then cut these into half and slice, but we do need to get the balance right. Too thin and the pie becomes quite sloppy and wet. Too thick and the apple won't cook throughout. We're going to coat these apple slices in a generous helping of cinnamon and light brown sugar, making sure that we mix thoroughly and make sure each slice is coated in this mixture. We will then rest these apples for around 1 to 2 hours. This allows them to release excess liquid, preventing a soggy pie crust and to let the flavours meld with any added sugars and spices. Creates a more concentrated and flavourful filling. Before adding the filling to our base, we're going to coat in around 2 tablespoons of plain flour. As with any other recipe I do, this is done to thicken the sauce that coats the apple throughout the cooking and baking of the pie. We'll layer the slices carefully and evenly in the pie base. With all that juice that escaped whilst letting the apples rest, we're going to now place this in a pan. We'll simmer it down as the sugar within will help form a nice, rich, sweet caramel, which is delicious to pour right over those apples, screaming for more delicious sweetness. Using some more short crust pastry, we'll prepare and place a lid over the pie. Crimp as best as you can, or as best as I could in this case, to the baked base. Brush with egg wash and make a couple of slits to allow steam to escape whilst this delicious apple pie bakes in the oven. Using our friendly 200 degrees centigrade oven, we'll place this in and bake until the pie is nice and golden with a filling tender and sweet. Beautiful. We're going to let that pie rest for now. And what does a good apple pie need? Of course, some delicious, rich, homemade custard. Let's get to it. Start by separating 4 large egg yolks and placing these yolks in a mixture of 3 tablespoons of corn flour and 100 grams of caster sugar. Mix it through before adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Meanwhile, whilst all that's happening, in a pan, heat together until just before simmering 700 ml of milk and 200 ml of double cream. I must thank the BBC Good Food Guide at this point, because this is where the recipe is from. But it works every time, and why change what works? Now, I can't remember who, but before I got this recipe, I was told by a friend of mine to add a little of this milk and cream mixture to the egg yolks mixed with the cornflour, sugar and vanilla, a process we know as that's called tempering. This gradually heats the eggs and prevents them from scrambling or curdling when we actually mix this with the rest of the hot liquid. It ensures a smooth, silky texture and delicious custard. Essentially what we're doing, we're gently cooking the egg proteins by slowly introducing heat. We slowly add this new mixture to the warm milk and double cream whilst whisking continuously. Eventually, the mixture will turn to the rich, thick, creamy, vanilla flavoured custard that is welcome to the plate of any warm dessert. The pan at a simmer is more than enough. Excuse the extremely poor serving footage, but serve a generous portion of the pie in a bowl and top with some of our delicious warm custard. Apple pie and custard, delicious as a dessert any time of the week. So let me know in the comments below. Was this a fail? What would you do differently? Don't forget, wherever or whenever you are viewing this video, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe. Click the links to the right to see some more of my delicious recipes, and don't forget to give that notification bell a ring to be informed of future content. Last but not least, give me a comment below. What's on your plates this evening?